Have you ever been over to a friend's house or had a family dog when the family welcomes someone into their home and everybody sits down in the living room and the dog is told, lie down? And the dog does, but just on its haunches and kind of perches there with one eye on the visitor, just in case they turn out to be a possible threat. Contrast that with the image of the dog who is completely relaxed, maybe laid back and even snoozing, or at least belly up and head back, not afraid. They're both peaceful, but they're not the same. In our scripture this week from Isaiah, we hear the wolf shall live with the lamb, the leopard lie down with the kid, the calf and the lion and the fatling together. This is a vision of peace and harmony prophesied in God's kingdom that in these verses is ushered in by God's leader, who comes from the line of Jesse, who we understand to be the Messiah and we believe is Jesus of Nazareth. But it's a vision of God's kingdom, and one that we believe we're approaching. And this vision of animal enemies lying together, which is beloved in art, it can't be the kind of tenuous peace where the dog is perched and has an eye on the stranger. But it's the relaxed, unafraid, complete safety of the dog who really lies down, shows its belly. Here at church, and specifically at Georgetown Lutheran, I'm proud that we're a community that includes diverse people. People who our culture would say are lions and lambs, people from different backgrounds, different generations, boomers and millennials, Democrats and Republicans, all sit together. But what kind of peace is it? Is it the tenuous peace when we're together, or are we truly relaxed? Do we reflect this image of God's kingdom? How are we slowly approaching this? Well, first, we show up. We hang out with people that are different than us. And we try to live into this vision. Second, we can only control the part that we can control. And here's the thing about this kind of peace that's described in Scripture. It's contagious. That is, if you're relaxed, you know your dog's going to be more relaxed. And if you're relaxed, then your neighbor will be too. If we're talking to someone with a different perspective than us, we first be mindful about holding a relaxed body posture, not defensive or aggressive. If we keep our voices calm, then we can hear our neighbor better, still speak our peace. I'm not saying we do this perfectly, but I'm on the lookout for it. And I ask you to join me in that. I think we're called to do this. It's clear that in these visions of God's kingdom, there aren't sides. So, there's just God's peace. And yes, probably many things are going to have to change about us for that to really get lived out, for metaphorical lions and lambs of our world to be together in real peace. God's going to have to change us. But what can we do? Well, we could try to be more like God's leader in these verses, who is described as the one who doesn't listen to just what other people say about the poor, but goes out and it says, with righteousness he will judge the poor, with equity he will decide for the meek of the earth. We might disagree about how to do that, but there's no question that that is our calling. And it might actually be the way to this kind of peace. Come and serve a meal together. Come and work on or talk about justice together. We might not agree at the beginning about what that looks like, but I bet you if we get in the trenches to work on it together, we're going to get a lot closer. How might we move toward a place where no one is being taken advantage of, hurt, oppressed, on the defensive, or made an opponent or a victim? Where do you see it? Check out our collaborative Bible study, which is linked below with further questions for reflection. And I invite you to share your comments, share on social media where you see this happening, the lion and the lamb lie down together, because it's Advent. And we are slowly approaching God's kingdom because God promises. So thanks be to God and blessed Advent.